So, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Apostates Biden Crime Family Special. Every episode. I
Okay.
am Ren, and with me, as always, Dallas.
I'm sorry. I just thought Biden crime family, and I'm like, the most I can think of is just visualizing them doing those black and white portraits at the fair, and them pretending to be a bunch of mobsters.
You know Joe would love it. He'd put on his
Yeah, Joe would be about that life.
he
He'd
would
be
have
like,
his aviators on doing finger guns.
oh my God. It would be like, can I be an Irish mobster? I gotta be an Irish mobster.
You
Oh my
practically
God.
are, Joe.
I'm like, sir. I mean, like I said, I mean, one would argue that all multi-generational wealthy families are some sort of crime family on some level. That's the inner socialist that my father totally intentionally but unintentionally nurtured, going, I mean, depends on who you ask. I mean, it's all crime families all the way down.
You know, I think before we get into that, I just want to say to those who are lost on that submarine, um, I give you a heartfelt, you should have known.
I'm, there are enough. There is a channel, I'm going to shout it out, Casual Geographic. Some of you have heard of it, some of you haven't. It's run by this wonderful young African guy named Mamadou. And he constantly goes on about the fact that the ocean ain't nothing to fuck with. And we haven't explored enough of it that we should be out here spending $250K in a rickety ass submarine that supposedly that's operated by, wait for it, a generic PlayStation controller. If I were a squid or kraken, I would feel disrespected. The sheer disrespect of y'all rolling on to my property, going to see the shipwreck parked in my front yard.
You're not even going to install cannons on this thing. You are going to go into the depths, into my house with this little death bullet.
Bitch, is you serious? The ocean, the water itself might pack you up before I do. Like I said, if I were a squid, I were a kraken, I would feel fucking insulted.
I wouldn't even bother. Be like, you guys are going to die on your own. This is nothing to me.
Like, yeah, I'm totally visualizing everybody having a pool of, they can't get out. Oh, this is going to be good.
I just that in a world where days ago we had a maritime disaster where hundreds of refugees died. And you got the billionaires like nephews or sons or whatever saying the U.S. isn't doing enough to help 5 rich dumbasses.
Listen, I would like you to speak to half of Miami right now. The government does plenty. You just were rich and stupid. We just happen to have, you were rich and stupid. The Mariolitos were smart and broke. What do you want us to do?
You also think that with all the government's resources, they'd be able to find this thing? The ocean
has this
big.
Exactly. And we've explored maybe 30 to 35% of the whole shebang. Yeah, no, they lost. Yeah, their oxygen supposedly is supposed to last till Thursday, but I don't know about it. I have a feeling nervousness and farts have just consumed the lot.
You know, if they survive, that thing is going to surface and 4 of them are going to be eaten. Come on, they're billionaires. They have no idea what hunger is. They are.
Oh yeah, that's true. They
each
don't
other.
know what hunger. They don't know what hunger is. They've managed to price themselves out of the existential fear of I may not have any food for the next 48 to 64 hours.
And honestly, if that thing surfaces, if it's not going to,
I don't think it will.
God, I want the survivor, and it will just be one survivor, to read every last tweet.
The Twitter was out of order. Though it wasn't on the level of Death of Queen Elizabeth out of order. They were out of order.
Bless Kenyan Twitter for that.
Kenyan Twitter did not fuck around. People were mad at Kenyan Twitter. I will never forget Jeff Bezos tried to come for a Kenyan intellectual who was friends with Chris Smalls. And I'm like, first of all, oh, so you only went after there's all these tweeters, and then you went after this one. Hey, here she is with Chris Smalls. Was that why? Like, sir, you're just seeing a sneak preview of the death dance we might do when you finally leave us.
God, when Jeff Bezos dies, I really hope. I mean, you know what's going to be great, though, is Chris Smalls is going to say something wonderfully poetic and nice and sweet.
When Chris dies,
because he is Sun fucking Zoo, and he knows exactly how to play everything.
If Chris Smalls, and by all rights he should, outlives Jeff Bezos, it's going to be a case of he's going to say something very, very thoughtful and very reasonable, but it's going to have levels and it's going to be mad shady. On third reading, everyone's going to be like, oh, you bitch!
It's going to be Southern polite.
Oh, yes. It's going to be like, well, bless his heart. I did not know you could breathe like that.
But I think the lead billionaire on that death bullet,
I think is the owner of the CEO of the company,
and one of the people who was on the Blue Origin's penis rocket. But the thing is, my favorite moment was the moment I learned that the navigation was provided by Starlink.
Oh yeah, no, I was like,
that was the moment. You've seen 22 Jump Street, right?
Yeah.
Where it finally clicks, and you realize, oh shit! Yeah,
it's like mwah, the chef's kiss. It's the moment where if someone just asks out loud, are billionaires really useful? I'm like, you know what? Ride that question. This is not an unfair question. Ride it. Go for it. No. Ride that question out, sir. Ride it out. It's good.
Billionaires paying $250,000 per ticket to visit the grave of mostly paupers at the bottom of the sea. And between all of these $100,000, bets to charities to get Dr. Who's-Its to fucking go on Joe Rogan and debate RFK.
Dr. Hotez? Oh, yeah, that Dr. Hotez. I want Dr. Hotez to go on. Why would I go to a shotgun shack to engage in public to suck the dick of the most worn out patron? Tell me why.
Between all of that, it is the reason why we need to go back to the form of progressive marginal tax rates that we had in the 1950s before they were dropped by Eisenhower and then later eliminated by Reagan.
And because honestly, rich people shut the fuck up and decided to stay pretty for our society papers, as they should. And honestly, I will be saving her. I will be crusading her for her to be the last rich person eaten. But now I know why Megan left Spotify ended her contract with them right before this bullshit happened. Can we please offer to have her be eaten last?
Okay. Let me put it this way. As far as billionaires go, the like 3 black women billionaires will be allowed to live.
They'll either be allowed to live or they'll be eaten last.
It's basically her and Rihanna and Oprah. They can.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. Well, Oprah's on thin ice with me.
I don't even. She just look. Yeah, Dr. Oz and Dr. Phil.
Exactly. That's why she on thin ice. We swap her out for Melody Hobson, Mrs. George Lucas. We eaten George. Sorry, but Melody can live.
I just want to see Jeff Bezos space. I want him to be not even for food, but I want him to be the decorative centerpiece at the feast table.
Oh, like kind of just the traditional naked with the pig glazed in something?
Nah, something simple and tasteful, like
and the apple in his mouth.
More just from the neck up, posed, dignified.
Okay, so kind of a Boulay Brothers presents Meatball kind of situation.
Just the tip.
Just the tip. Can we have like some cool henna designs on his bald head, because that shit I've always liked that, and I think that's the only beauty that he should deserve, that he merits at this point.
Why not? It'll be a nice tableau.
Yeah, and you get some good dal. You have some good dal, with the bread and with the naan and a little tea on the side.
That's the thing. It'll be good food. It won't be like the rich people food, like what these people think taste is. Every one of these like billionaires think like it's like when you finally saw the picture of the inside of fucking Mar-a-Lago and you look at it like, this is all like the most expensive but still builder's grade shit that you can get.
I looked at it and I'm like, this man got no taste. No wonder he eats McDonald's and has his steak well done. Well, you know what? Has his steak well done and just drowns it in ketchup. Not even A1.
Which is
not even A1.
You can't make the connection when he goes up and he complains about how many times you have to flush the toilet. I'm like, dude, that is a you problem.
It is definitely a him problem.
I have run experiments in my own bathroom. I
believe this.
I have asked all around. None of us have to flush 10, 15, 16, 17, whatever he says times.
What?
It's a you problem.
It's gotta be the drug abuse. It's only the drug abuse. Honestly, this is what I think.
He is a teetotaler, apparently.
No, but when it comes to alcohol, but not when it comes to other substances.
I don't know how much. I mean, all the same.
I've heard that he abuses cough medicine for methamphetamines in it.
I could see that, I suppose, but I mean,
and honestly,
that amount.
Speaking as a diabetic, I do believe that he has undiagnosed type 2 diabetes.
I mean,
I do.
Doesn't.
Huh?
No way he doesn't.
I'm sorry, baby.
He's not 6'3". We've seen him stand next to Obama. He's not 6'3".
No, he's not.
He's not 240 pounds.
No, he's not.
Because I'm not that now, but I've been 240 pounds. And I'm very, very short. And
yeah,
the only way he's 240 pounds is if he's the same fucking shape as me.
I'm just thinking, wait, how much do you think John Fetterman weighs?
Well, I think the rules are different for ogres. I think there's like a...
Listen. Oh, okay. He's your savior.
No, I apologize. I apologize. He's more of an ent.
He's like a cross between an ogre and an ant, but he's got a hint of orc in him. Like there was a gangbang somewhere in the Tolkien verse that we don't talk about.
A hybrid, like the Uruk-hai.
Yeah, like there was a gangbang somewhere in the Tolkien verse that we don't discuss that resulted in that, man, and I'm okay with it. Yeah. Pennsylvania is okay with it. I mean, y'all gave us Gritty, so I guess, listen.
here's something I want people who are not from Philadelphia to understand, because
Oh boy.
Gritty, I don't think social media even remembers what happened with Gritty, because Gritty was
I just
announced,
know all I
and
know.
oh no, I've got to.
Okay, get to it.
Gritty was announced, and
Mm-hmm.
for 6 fucking hours, everyone in Philadelphia was like, "What is this shit? This is the worst mascot ever. Who would come up with this? Who dares do this in Philadelphia? Wait. What did some asshole from Texas and Massachusetts fucking say? No, he's our Gritty. We love him." That is what happened.
Yeah, basically y'all hated him for like the first 24 hours, and all of a sudden when everyone else started roasting him, y'all were like, no, this is our ugly weird mascot and we love him. And I'm like, y'all should have loved him in the first place, because next thing you know, the hard left and the socialists are like, he's one of us now and you can't. Like, I've never, like, there was an entire symposium on the Jewishness of Gritty. An entire symposium on the Jewishness of Gritty. It happened. It was a thing. I talked to someone who knows somebody who went on Twitter. It happened. They discussed it. They can, like, there is a clutch of Jewish Philadelphians who consider him like a golem type creature, and I can see it. I understand the concept. As far as I'm concerned, Gritty is a Jewish socialist who likes to fight.
Well, we need to be able to solve this by determining whether the Philly fanatic is Jewish, because and then determining whether the Philly fanatic is the father or the mother. It's really hard. Like, you know, because if the Philly fanatic is Jewish and the mother, then the answer is obvious. It gets a little less clear if we don't. You know, because it's like sexing chickens. Like with fanatics and Gritties, you don't know. You have to
you have to get super close, and I don't know if I want to get that close to Gritty. But like I said, there are a clutch of Jewish socialists who claim him as one of theirs, and I'm really not in the mood to fight that. I see it, I understand it. Gritty playing.
Let's be fair. Conversion is a thing.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm sorry. I can see him at a protest with the thing on, with the thing on, trying to get everybody to where they need to go, and so he can go home, shower, and walk to temple. Happy Shabbos, everybody. That's basically, like, I'm sorry. I'm not Jewish, but I totally understand those that say that Gritty is Jewish. I believe it.
No, you're not Jewish. You're not George Santos.
No, God, no. But like I said, I personally believe, believe, and sympathize with those that claim Gritty as Jewish. I get it.
Gritty has near universal applicability. He can be anything to anyone who needs him.
This is true.
You love him in your heart. He is you. Gritty is all of us.
Like I said, one of the best things the mid to hard left did in the 2020 election cycle was adopt Gritty as one of their own. That's one of the best things they did. I applaud them for it.
Well, the memes after bad things happen in Philadelphia.
Mwah. Because it was like, this man said bad things happen. Listen, only bad thing I've ever encountered in Philadelphia was the smells. Occasionally, there are some really foul smells in Philly, and y'all need to deal with that. But everything else, man, Philly's awesome.
First of all, that's Camden.
You're like, no, that's Camden. All I know is there are some really weird smells in Philly, and I have some thoughts and feelings about it. But Philly is where I discovered Five Below and Wah Wah. And after many years of prayer and supplication before the throne, I have this within 5 miles of my house, and I am eternally grateful.
Blessings upon thee to the Rust Belt, who are starting to get their very first Wawas in Indiana, Ohio, and like it's finally happening. Wawa
Honestly, fuck Indiana, but I'm glad they have a Wawa.
First comes the Wawa, then comes the revolution.
I like it. All I know is they also sell those. Wawa also sells those coffee chocolate beans I like, and I'm a fan of those shits too. Here's the thing: I don't really eat the food at Wawa. This sounds really bad, but I don't really. But I love Wawa. I guess as a concept, I love it, and I'll fight for it. But I actually eating the food, I don't really do that. The coffee's great. Like the little snack shit is great. Like the egg rolls, those are fine. The back in the mozzarella sticks, those are fine. The pretzels are great.
So
but
the food at Wawa is why Wawa's so great. And when people from, more center and western part of Pennsylvania go on and on about how great Sheetz is, I'm sorry, but
I don't give a fuck about Sheetz. Never been to Sheetz, never had it.
Eating food at Sheetz is like taking your grandma to the prom. Like, yeah, you can probably be seen in public doing it, and whatever, it's not too bad, but
you get no joy or satisfaction out of the situation.
It wasn't what it was meant for. You're doing it wrong.
Meanwhile, I'm just like, I love Wawa. Fuck Sheetz, but I've never eaten the food at Wawa. It's like, why do you even love Wawa? Bitch, it's right by my house. That's why. And the pretzels.
It's only gotten better because it used to be they only had a couple types of sandwiches you were going to get.
And the pretzels.
Yeah, well, the pretzels are really nice.
The pretzels are like literally what drew me into the cult of Wawa.
Now that they have paninis and ciabatta sandwiches, and they got burgers, I mean, it's all just great.
And the coffee's good too. Coffee's good.
The coffee is good, and now that I was not much of a Starbucks person anyway, but I'll never be a Starbucks person.
Yeah, because you got Wawa right by the house.
Yeah, I got Wawa, I got Dunkin', I even got Quick Check. I do not need.
What? Why are we doing Quick Check now?
In the scale of convenience places, sometimes there isn't a convenient Wawa, and sometimes the Quick Check is on the way home. It's better than Sheetz. Quick Check is better than Sheetz.
Fair.
And Western PA, fucking fight me on that.
Oh yeah, no, they gonna fight you. You know that, right? They gonna fight you. Meanwhile, I'm like
low energy from their anemic food and shitty coffee.
Listen, the only thing I can compare that based on the description, only thing I can compare it to is Racetrack. I am unimpressed by Racetrack. Racetrack does not thrill me. Racetrack. Only time I've ever really been into Racetrack is because it was by work. I
bigger and bigger,
and it's big for no damn reason. Ain't nobody. Listen, it's the Otis of of gas station convenience stores. Ain't nobody coming to see that. No one is coming to see it. People are going to the Wawa. People are going to the 7-Eleven. I'd rather go to 7-Eleven than to fucking Racetrack. What the fuck am I going to do at Racetrack?
7-Eleven is where I got all my favorite food poisonings.
Here's the thing. I think I've only had the pizza at 7-Eleven. I've only had the pizza at 7-Eleven. That's not so bad.
That's like the next. You've seen those Saturday Night Live musicals with John Mulaney where they try to eat the terrible food from a bad place you shouldn't even be ordering it from. 7-Eleven pizza is the next one of them. It's right there.
I love
lobster from a diner or getting
there's something vaguely school lunchy about the 7-Eleven pizzas. They're vaguely school lunchy. I'm a fan, and maybe it's hitting a nostalgia point that I don't normally hit.
I've got some uncomfortable truths about nostalgia food.
Oh boy.
We liked that pizza because it was the only pizza. We remember liking it, but we wouldn't like it if we tried it for the first time now. And it's the same reason why people still think The Goonies is a good movie. It's because they watched it when they were a kid and they thought wow, this movie is amazing.
Oh my God. You
Amazing
go
because,
shit on the Goonies tonight?
yeah,
You gonna
it's
shit on the
not a good
Goonies
movie.
on Michelle Obama and Beyonce and Meghan Markle's good internets?
It's not
On
a good
Laverne
movie.
Cox's good internets? You gonna do that?
I am not on that journey with you.
Bruh. I mean, there's like, I don't love the Goonies, but I have a respect
I don't
for
think
the
it's
Goonies.
I don't think it's a bad movie, but I mean, it's just okay.
I'm like, I respect the Goonies for what it did. I mean, I have yet to meet any white male between the ages of like 28 and 45 that didn't are like, oh, you like the Goonies? Oh yeah, please give me a hand job. Like, honestly. So I mean, if that is a unifying experience for y'all, I respect that. So just hating on the Goonies openly like that, I'm like, are you okay?
I don't call myself a contrarian. It's not
Oh,
that, but
yeah, there's only one contrarian I know who's like the greatest contrarian ever.
I just think that like there are certain cinematic sacred cows that need to be slaughtered, and the Goonies is one of them. And I think culturally, people are finally coming around to the fact that Forrest Gump fucking sucked. I think culturally we're coming around to that.
I don't know about it.
It is so. Listen.
No,
listen,
baby.
listen.
No, baby. No. No, baby. No. No, baby. No. Don't be coming here with the no.
All movies in some way are manipulative. That's what they do.
Yeah, we
They
know
make
this.
you
Yes, I'm
feel a
highly aware
thing.
of that. Mm-hmm.
Forrest Gump was so after school special type transparent about its manipulation. Forrest's mother is so.
But I would argue that's actually what makes it good. You know you're
Hurt
gonna be
your
manipulated.
feelings, you know this to be true.
But the thing is, that's what makes it good. It is, you know, you are going to be manipulated by a saccharine story, but they still pull it off. You can see the seam and you still love it.
What I personally love is
I will say, even though I loved him at one point in my life, honestly, Gary Sinise could have gone harder, and I'm never going to forgive him for that. That character could have been so much more bitter and so much bitter and darker. Honestly, he could have done more. Okay, that's basically my only complaint about Forrest Gump. Gary Sinise should have gone harder in the paint. And I will never, and he needs to, maybe that's why he doesn't act anymore. I don't know. Maybe he got too close to Jim Caviezel and decided, bitch, I don't want to be infected with whatever you got.
All I can think is that Jim Caviezel took getting struck by lightning as the incorrect version of the sign it was trying to be.
Truly. I'm
that man is
not okay. Not okay. He is not okay. He is not okay. And I'm mad about it. I'm always going to be mad about it. Sanity is a funny thing, and I am mad that he allowed his to desert it.
I'm a little mad about how the fucking guy who does the voice for Jimmy Pesto on Bob's Burgers allowed like the character is gone now basically from the show. And it's all
he did it to himself.
And it's just like, how dare he let his treason interfere with my entertainment?
Jimmy Pesto's gone, and I'm just like, sir, you did this to yourself. You entirely did this to yourself. You didn't have to get out of bed that day. You could have stayed in bed, sir, and stayed being Jimmy Pesto. Now everyone's going to know you as Jimmy Insurrectionist, and it's going to be weird, and no one's going to be your friend. You're going to be like Al Gore looking for your own version of Man Bear Pig. I hope he's happy.
Oh, man. But South Park kind of apologized for that shit, too, which was hilarious.
Listen, I got stuck watching South Park all day at work. All I got to say is, I was like, when did South Park stop being funny? I don't know. Like, when did they stop being funny? They were running all the classic episodes, so I'm like, when did these niggas stop being funny to me?
I appreciate that they tried something with the serialization and season-long story arcs, but they just stuck with it, and it sucked ever since.
I was never, like, bruh, I don't know. Like, South Park used to be good, and they just fell off. They're not even mid. They'd have to work hard to be mid. I don't know if it's the fact that they went full libertarian and decided that was what they were going to do. I don't know. Like, I'm sitting here like Mandy Matney, like, I don't know.
There's a fighting with their own identity going on because they clearly... They did go hard libertarian, but they also went hard anti-Trump. And it's kind of like you can't reconcile those identities.
You really can't.
And I think that they're living in this sort of reason where there's a part of them that values reason, like, yeah, Trump is bad, but you realize the rest of your identity doesn't fit that. And they're still trying to hold on to the rest of that identity.
And you just want to be like, that's not who you are anymore. I don't know why you think this is who you are, but this is not who you are. So.
Not only coming to their senses on global warming and also being like, yeah, Hillary sucks, but seriously, you need to vote for her because this fucking guy's insane. Like, having those two revelations from people who were pretty much, center right wing, or at least assumed to be, but they didn't come to any of the rest of the revelations that come with it.
No,
and
they thought,
ideology.
In other words, they did the 2-inch work and they did the 3 pumps, and they thought that was going to be enough to make us come around. No.
So,
no.
Yeah, I haven't watched it in like 3 years.
Exactly. I think it was maybe, I can't remember the last time I watched a new fresh out the box episode of South Park. I mean, I'll watch the classics. The Scientology episode is always going to be the Scientology episode, and the Isaac Hayes, killing off Isaac Hayes. It is going to be, those are always going to be their top tier work.
I actually recently watched the Super Fun Time episode and the Water Park episode. And Super Fun Time, where they're at that like 1864 type,
Oh yeah.
And then the water park where it gets like too many people pee in the water park.
And yeah.
Classic stuff. But speaking of peeing in water parks, there's no good transition for this. Let's talk about Hunter Biden and the Biden.
Oh Lord! Listen, I'm of the opinion that Hunter Biden is a fail son that knows. Here's the thing, though: he's a fail son that knows he's a fail son. But unlike Trump Jr., his dad loves him. So that just transforms the situation radically. I don't care pretty much what Hunter Biden does as long as he, abides by the term of whatever probation he's under. It was this whole thing was worked out by a Trump appointee, which means this goes beyond left and right, and now we're talking about class versus anything else.
Well, if you're on the left or the center, that is what's happening. If you are people like Ben Shapiro, Lauren Boebert, it's a sign of a 2-tier justice system because he's not going to prison, apparently.
The crime was a misdemeanor anyway. So, I mean...
And one of those crimes is not usually charged as an independent crime. It's usually charged as an ancillary
in conjunct. Yeah, in conjunction with. So, I'm left, like I said, I'm just seeing he just got rich kid justice. He got rich white kid justice. He didn't, that was what most of us were expecting.
I am going to find the tweet
Mm-hmm.
from Lauren Boebert. I don't know if is it supposed to be Boebert. I don't fucking care.
It's Boebert, and honestly, ma'am, your ex-husband showed his dick to children. I really don't give a fuck what the fuck you say.
So here we go. Hunter Biden was able to quietly plead guilty. Okay. First,
quietly, bitch, you talking about it? How quiet are we talking here? I don't know what the fuck you talking about
news.
Quietly. Like,
it
bitch,
was national news before he
exactly. I have a feeling that there was at least 15 people in Greater London alone tweeting about it. So quietly, man, bitch, hush. She can suck my clit.
So Hunter Biden was able to quietly plead guilty to a federal gun law violation, all caps, and willful failure to pay income taxes. Federal gun law violation? Yeah, he did. He pled guilty to that.
Yes, he did.
Actually correct on that. And willful failure to pay income taxes.
That's not quite what happened, was it, though?
Also, other people have failed to pay income tax and made a deal with the IRS and haven't been charged.
Yeah.
So the fact is that he has been charged with things that aren't usually charged independent of other crimes.
Like, bruh,
charged with the crime where people are usually able to work out a payment plan if they're able to pay.
Or if they're the Church of Scientology, not pay at all.
This is actually a sign that the justice system and the people working on this case, which include Trump appointee holdovers that Biden did not remove in the midst of investigation started under the Trump administration with a deal worked out with other Trump appointees.
Mm-hmm.
So they're actually going in some ways harder on Hunter than they would other technically first-time offenders. Now, I'm sure he's done other crimes. I mean,
oh yeah,
whatever. But as far as the justice system is aware, you want to talk about the two-tier justice system and targeting your political enemies. This was started under the Trump justice system, and
this is what they got. This is what they got.
I don't see a single elected official on the Democratic Party or on the left saying this is an outrageous abuse of power. He's innocent. Blah blah blah. They're all basically just like quiet.
Okay.
Or motherfucker did some crimes and now he's got to take his lumps. So
yeah, or they're just like, well, it's rich kid justice, fam. I mean, honestly, what you want. Honestly, what you want.
Maybe wealthy people shouldn't be allowed to get away with crimes, and maybe it's good that he's actually facing some consequences. Now, none of these have to do with his drug use, except in an ancillary way, because the gun charges, because he lied on a permit, on a form to get a gun, the lie having to be about his drug use, but they're not drug charges. So,
yeah, and honestly,
starts on Lauren Boebert's tweet, she said there was no raid of his crack house.
Okay, all right, no, bitch. No, this is a point where I would be taking off my shoes and my earrings, not because I want to defend Hunter Biden and his huge dick, but honestly, it's because why? You didn't need to use that kind of... Lauren Opal Boebert did not need to use that kind of language. Crack house? Bitch, what are you trying to do? Get this man to start using again? What the fuck?
Yes. Also, I mean, there's no language other than coded language for these people.
Exactly.
So,
apparently.
But I will continue. There was no raid of his crack house. There was no jail time, no flashy indictments. Lauren, that is what happens when you cooperate with authority.
Exactly. That's what happens when you just put your hands up and say, okay, you caught me. This is what I did. This is what y'all need to talk to me about. We will talk about, this is my lawyer's phone number. Let's all sit down and hash this shit out. Honestly, that's what happens when you get to sit down and hash shit out. But no, you still sucking Trump's dick after he held off the government for how long regarding them documents?
What was it?
The way I need the... Yeah, damn near a year. I need this woman to find the stadium where they hold the Arirang in North Korea and take every last one of those fucking nearly 200,000 seats.
Facts are like points, and whose line is it anyway? They don't matter.
They really don't.
She
At least not to them.
His lawyer says the investigation is over and they're wrapping a nice little bow on it. Well, yeah, again, it's been several years long investigation, and this is what they had. Yeah. If there were evidence of more crimes, say on the laptop we've heard so much about it,
the mythical laptop.
I would like to know why none have come to light if this laptop has been in the possession.
Maybe they're as blind as Johnny Mac Isaac. I don't know.
Or maybe there's really no other actual crimes that there's evidence of, and everything else is just innuendo or shit that can't build any case whatsoever.
Like I said, only thing we learned is that only thing we really learned about the man is that he has some jobs that he possibly really doesn't have the expertise to have. He has some very interesting hobbies with other consenting adults that may involve intoxicants, and he is surprisingly well hung for a man of his age.
They really love
ethnicity
for consenting adult activities. It's why
that's the thing that gets me. It's like, listen, he had hoes and he paid the hoes.
It's why they destroyed Andrew Gillum, and I mean that's how they destroyed him too. The Democratic Party didn't give a shit about Florida and didn't bother backing him.
They didn't bother backing the man. And all I gotta say is this: like, the fact that they always bring up consent, like, there are very few exceptions, but most of the time when they decide I'm gonna just beat down a Democrat, it's like it involves somebody who said yes to the whole thing and said, you know what, fuck it, let's record that shit too. Listen, Hunter paid hoes. The hoes were paid. They didn't throw the Hunter under the bus. They were paid. This is y'all doing this. What do Republicans have against women having consensual sex with men? What do they have against consensual heterosexual sex?
I think it's the agency part.
The fact that the woman is saying, no. Yeah, no. 5,000 is fine. 5,000 is fine. Get the lube. Let's do this.
Although I will say, with the thing with Elliot Spitzer was just, it's more of the fact that it was like $40,000.
Yeah, like, come on, man. You could have done better, but, if she manages to finesse you out of that much, I can't be mad at her.
For $40,000, you should be able to paint my house without your hands.
I'm sorry, no, but I'm like, listen, if she can finesse $40,000, more power to her. I wish I could finesse $40,000 out of old white men. The best I can do is maybe $500 and a tit flash.
All of this to say is that, people like Lauren Boebert and Ben Shapiro and everybody else going on and on about how the fact that he's not serving prison time is a travesty of the justice system just goes to show you what unserious assholes these people are.
Yeah, because they obviously don't really understand how the justice system works on either tier. They don't understand that, no, Hunter got what was appropriate for him as a white male of money and influence. He got what was appropriate. I hate to say it. Man's got what he needed to get. Like, yeah. and y'all bitching about the condition of people who got arrested for treason when, in reality where we live, usually treason, you get like maybe 8 weeks in prison of summary trial, and then you're hung out on a public square for your body to rot in front of everybody. Now, honestly, we could have done that, but we only do that in countries that we start that the CIA starts the coup on, not like our own people do the coup. So we unfortunately don't do the 8 weeks and then we hang you shit. Unfortunately,
I don't know.
Yeah, I think I just shaded the CIA.
Don't worry.
I think I just shaded everybody in that.
Don't worry, you're going to be fine. You don't have land they want or capitalist interests they can exploit or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm broke, I'm poor, and
you
I'm
don't live in a country rich with natural resources, or rubber, or bananas, or farmland, or
yeah, we don't got none of that shit. Now, on the other hand, if I were saying that shit and I were in, say, I mean, I don't think we really use aluminum like we used to. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. I have a feeling that shit might get in fashion again. Don't know. Yeah, I don't think anyone cares about aluminum anymore, which is good. I'm okay with that.
man, all it takes, to imagine, I feel like the CIA is really mad about Bitcoin because there's no country fucking destroy to take it over.
Yeah, you can't really destroy a country over Bitcoin. Not even like at first they probably got a little excited thinking that because Bitcoin involves mining, they're like, okay, we gonna invade some motherfuckers tonight.
Which South American country are we going to overthrow?
Oh, and then they found out Miami.
Oh man, I was hoping for a vacation in Guyana.
Yeah, they were like, I was hoping for a layover in Colombia. God damn it. This is Miami? I already know everyone there. This is not fun.
You're telling me there's not one central location of servers that we can't just go over, send in a couple of mercenaries to overthrow the... Really? That's like what we do. That's our thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I have a feeling the CIA is upset about Bitcoin, and they are letting us know that, which is why they're looking the other way while fucking Francis Suarez decides he gonna run for president. Okay, Ponzi Pastelito, go for it. I don't give a fuck. No one cares. Congratulations, you're the one Republican who didn't vote for Trump and didn't vote for DeSantis.
I only know his name simply because I thought it was funny because they already had the most useless candidate, the fucking North Dakota governor, join. So he's like useless plus one.
Like, yeah, listen, he pretty, and that's about all I can offer. And his campaign ad pissed me off because that run made no goddamn sense. I looked at that run, I'm like, where is he starting? Okay, I see LaSalle. Okay, I know where LaSalle is. Where is he? That makes no sense. Listen, did he take an Uber and then pretend to run again? I sat there like watching this whole thing and realizing that route made no goddamn sense. Look, and it just hurt me on a personal level.
It could have been so much worse. He could have been doing the Mike Pence run.
Yeah, he could have been doing the Mike Pence run. Luckily, he has just enough rhythm and a lower center of gravity to make that not happen. I'm just sitting here like that jog in the commercial made no sense. It made me mad. I was ready to beat people because he had to, like, I'm like, that ad was not for a single goddamn person in Miami, because I think if I showed this ad to at least 5 people who've ridden at least 3 different buses in Miami, we'd all be like, ain't nothing in that goddamn ad make no damn sense. That run route makes no sense, and it just pisses me off.
When multiple candidates are from the same state, you at least think to yourself, there might be a little competition. But it's like, he has to know that not only in his own state will he not beat the other guy from that state, he won't beat anybody else from any other state.
No, he won't. Maybe if Marco Rubio decides to do this shit again, he might beat Marco Rubio. And that's only because everybody hates Coral Park High. It'll come down to whose high school do you hate more.
When it comes to the Republican primary, I think Chris Christie is being very smart in positioning himself as the anti-Trump candidate, because a lot of other candidates are trying to get into the I'm not Trump lane.
Yeah, I think
he's going with all of Trump's greatest hits and policies. The xenophobia.
He's like Asa Hutchinson, but cooler. He's basically a cooler Asa Hutchinson.
And with more charisma. As much
Yeah.
as people hate Chris Christie, he does command the room.
Always.
Make whatever jokes they want about him,
Yeah.
but he basically was bullied out of the Republican presidential primary in 2016 because Donald Trump was there. Donald Trump was doing the Chris Christie shtick better than Chris Christie, and Christie lost it. But Trump's whole universe is failing. People saw how terrible he is at actually winning.
And right now, all I'm just thinking about is the fact that, unfortunately, there are some candidates who don't have a shot but may hate them, but the hatred of them may actually buy them more time. And I'm thinking immediately of Vivek Ramaswamy, because he constantly it's like he can't keep black people out his goddamn mouth. Him and Nikki Haley, it's like they figure that because they have melanin too, they can say out of pocket shit. And it's kind of really like, it's patronizing and it's eye-opening, because I'm like, I used to nod at these motherfuckers. I used to nod at these upper caste motherfuckers and think they were onto something.
Here is Vivek
like, honestly,
and Nikki Haley. Their basic, when their discussion on race, they try to lend themselves an air of credibility because they are non-white, but it basically amounts to them standing in front of a microphone saying to the Republicans with the loudest dog whistle possible, I have N-word privileges. And they fucking don't.
Exactly. They fucking don't. No, you do not have N-word privileges. No, you cannot walk into a black barber shop and think you can talk with everybody. No, you can't sit at the stage table. You are not invited to the cookout. You are not invited to the barber shop. You are not invited to the beauty shop. Yes, I may come into the bridal joint or the puja hut for some henna, but it's only you take my money, I leave. We are not friends. You do not know us.
I don't think I'm wrong that that's what they're trying to put across. Is the
at
idea
least to white people?
Well,
to white Republicans, they are.
They are, because they want white people to say, hey, look at me. They want white people to see a person of color going, hey, I can say all the racist stuff that the white guys have been saying the whole time, but you think that I'm saying it from an air of authority. Nikki Haley, in her campaign announcement, at the same time talked about how we are not a racist country, and also I grew up on the wrong side of the tracks.
Ma'am, your father taught at a HBCU. Sit the entire fuck down.
They're trying to cash in on the idea that I am, I have credibility as someone who is non-white in order to say all the racist things that you just want me to say anyway, because that's the brand.
Basically, and the thing is, that's going to get them past a couple. That might buy them time, because they probably don't want to admit it to themselves. They're running for VP. Yeah. They're running for Trump to be Trump's VP. I will not be shocked if, as a form of some sort of weird racial insurance, he picks Vivek Ramaswamy.
I do not think he would ever pick Nikki Haley.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said Vivek Ramaswamy.
And that's a betrayal to him.
Yeah.
At the very least, Vivek Ramaswamy has kept his nose clean as far as criticism of Trump and things like that.
And he actually said he'd pardon him if he became president. So I think Vivek Ramaswamy has shut the fuck up, has kept his head down and shut the fuck up, and knows, and he's running for VP. I think it's clear to everybody that Vivek Ramaswamy is running for VP, and honestly, I can't stand him. I really can't. I think it's upper caste fuckery. I don't know. It looks like upper caste fuckery to me. It's upper caste fuckery to me.
When it comes down to it, there's only two lanes. There's the Trumpian candidate and policies and non-Trumpian. And everybody else is trying to basically say, I'm like Trump, but I can win. But you're still being Trump. And if people have the choice between Trump and people who are like Trump, they're going to choose Trump. Meanwhile, Christie is the only one positioning himself by going, Trump fucking sucks. He fucking sucks. His family sucks. He always loses. Everything about him sucks. Also, have you noticed all of his policy ideas are deeply unpopular and they win you primary votes, but they're not going to get you anything else? He's openly come out against all of these transgender bans. Now, softly come out against it. And the reason is he knows he's positioning himself as the anti-Trump. And I think that if Trump drops dead or in some way is not able to get the nomination, I think this may be a wild theory. I think it may go to Christie. And
that would be, then it would be a really bad and ugly race.
Because if Christie gets the nomination, Christie wins.
That is, as much as I don't like it, I could 400% see Christie laying low, doing the whole. You've watched Gladiator. You know the scene where where Joaquin Phoenix talks about the fish and the this and the biting and this and that. Oh yeah, no, Chris Christie. That's literally Chris Christie's game plan. He is waiting. The man's not stupid. Was he a U.S. attorney or just a regular district attorney?
I think he was a U.S. attorney.
Okay, so he knows. Bitch, he knows. He may not have worked with Jack Smith, but he worked with people who worked with Jack Smith. He ain't stupid. He's betting it. He's betting safely on Trump going down, and him being like, it's 1:45 a.m. and everyone else has left the bar. Who you going home with? It's 1:45 a.m. Everybody else has left the bar. Who you going home with?
I think that's what Chris Christie is counting on.
100%.
He knows that he has no chance at VP. So he's in this on the chance that Trump crashes and burns, because it will be, if that happens, I do not think it will
and
be.
That's
I do not think
Haley. Yeah, and honestly, Trump crashing and burning is not an unsafe bet. It's not an unsafe bet. It's a reasonable bet. You don't sound like an idiot saying Trump might crash and burn.
There's a lot going on, and part of it is just I'm tired of, and a lot of people are tired, all of the, just to crib a line from John Mulaney, the old white man contest.
They are.
That is going on. And even though, I would vote for 1,000 Bidens every time over all of this, people are still tired of it. And so if Chris Christie somehow manages to be the last man standing, he will win.
I think that's the same. And like I said, I think that's as outlier as it sounds on its face. Having survived 2016, I think gaming out Chris Christie being the last man standing is not impossible. Well, and Chris Christie absolutely leaving Biden tongue-tied, also possible.
That's the consideration, because everybody else in that lineup are charismaless. Vivek Ramaswamy has charisma, but he's got no history of commanding a room like Chris Christie does. Christie has the name recognition, and
Chris Christie been that. Listen, Chris Christie been that dude since we were still Republicans.
Yeah.
Chris Christie been that dude for a minute. As much as I do not like him, I am smart enough to know Chris Christie been that dude for a minute. Yeah,
nobody likes him. His approval rating was in the tens when he left office.
The only person I can think of that's less likable is Rudolph Giuliani.
Oh my
That's the only person that I can think of that's less likable than Chris Christie. Rudolph Giuliani. That's the only person I can think of that's less likable.
This is why just John Eastman is going through a disbarment hearing. Rudy Giuliani.
I shouldn't even laugh. Listen, I shouldn't even laugh at this.
It's kind of amazing that Chris Christie is one of the few lawyers in Trump's orbit who still manages to have.
That's because Trump was dumb enough to kick him, to kind of be seen kicking him out of his orbit. That is actually Trump. If Trump had not so visibly told Chris Christie, go back to the plane, I don't think Chris Christie gets out from this without unscathed. The fact that he so visibly dumped out Chris Christie so early, ooh, that's going to be a mistake he's going to regret. He should have kept Chris Christie at his hip as long as he could. That's going to be as subtle of a mistake as that is. It's always for the want of a nail. And Chris Christie is that nail. Nah! Chris Christie's that nail. Chris Christie's that nail. He's the dog that bites back. And he lives for, and this is a man that lives for that kind of reputation. He lives to be
proto-Trump. He was Trump before Trump. And if Trump didn't exist, 2016 would have been Chris Christie's year. I believe that wholeheartedly. Because no one fucking liked Ted Cruz.
No, you're right though.
And as much as Ted Cruz was high in the rankings against Trump,
and as much as Ted Cruz tried to pull the Bush routine of let them see you putting together your cabinet, and then people will know you're serious and support you. Yeah, that was a Bush move. He tried to do what W did in the days leading up to the Brooks Brothers riot, in starting inviting people to the Crawford Ranch so that he could have start talking to people for his cabinet before they even decided the goddamn case. And he wanted people to see him doing it. So, yeah, I mean, Ted Cruz tried it, but obviously that shit ain't work.
Because I'm not saying that, Christie would have won because, if he would have stuck it out, he would have gotten more and more from the other people. I'm saying Chris Christie would have been in Trump's place. All of those votes that were going for Trump would have been going to Christie.
Oh, yeah, no. Chris Christie was loud and
from the beginning.
Chris Christie was loud, rude, and mouthy enough that white ethnics would have jumped on that, would have jumped just as quickly on that boat. White ethnics would have jumped just as quickly on that boat. It's not even a question.
Oh, my goodness.
And I hate to say it, he probably would have pulled off 2 terms, too.
We'll never know. Yeah,
like I said, he would have obviously handled Corona 10 times better than Trump would have, thus propelling him into a second term. It would.
I agree with that, and I cannot believe I'm saying that. But I remember how heavy-handed he was during hurricanes. Now, he terribly mismanaged the hurricanes behind the scenes.
Yeah,
but as far as making sure that he was heavy-handed and telling people to stay the fuck home, fucking morons.
Like I said, he would have handled it, and honestly, he would have handled it. Everyone would have kind of hated the brashness, but liked the brashness at the same time. 2 terms, not even a question. I honestly believe that if Chris Christie had won, he'd be in his second term right now.
And who knows where we'd be as a country, but I imagine we wouldn't have had a coup. So
this is true. We would not have had a coup. I'm not saying that I would have stayed a Republican. I really wouldn't have, but there would have been some things that people would have been able to live with. I don't think there would have been a fall off.
Yeah. The I don't think there would be this fall off. My Republicanism steered away around 2012, and it was heading and veering off in that, away from that direction. And then Trump was just sort of like, God damn.
I don't think the intellectual wing of the party that deserted in the wake of Trump would have deserted Christie. They would have found something to like. I think the intellectual wing of the party would have found something to like about Christie.
Very
They would
small,
have.
very small wing. And I don't mean that to say that there aren't
No.
intellectuals. I mean that to say that a lot of them easily sold their soul. People I thought had the good faith and intellectual honesty to not jump on the Trump train absolutely did at a heartbeat.
Yeah, there would, like I said, he would have just been another degular Republican. He would have been just another degular Republican president. I hate to say it, and I think most people know that he would have been very degular, and there would not, and Corona would have actually been slightly better handled.
If John Kasich had won, for example,
we
would have still lost Roe, but we also, would not have had a coup. He would have managed COVID much better.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't be dealing with a situation where we have this sort of emergent encouraging of violent extremism. It's always been there, and it's always been waiting.
In other words, white people would have stayed in their passive-aggressive lanes. Y'all would have stayed in your passive-aggressive lanes, and there would still be tension, there would still be upset, but but I hate to say it, white conservative evangelicals would have stayed in their passive-aggressive lanes.
So Biden, I don't know how much Hunter is going to be a liability for Biden. They're going to continue to try to prove that Biden was the big guy. Whatever. Good fucking luck with that. You've had this laptop.
Y'all have had this for how long? I don't think it's going to be that much of a liability, especially if Biden plays up the fact that, we're a family dealing with addiction, just like a lot of families. The moment he says that in the Rust Belt in the Midwest, done. They're going to be like, nope. Okay, I hate him, but he's right, though. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to be willing to hear him out basis on the fact of, I hate him, but he's right. Or I hate him, but you know what? Yeah, no, he's going through what my Aunt Bessie is going through. He's going through what my cousin Joan is going through with McKaylee. I honestly feel like the moment he says in the Rust Belt, I am a family that's being touched by addiction, I think he's not going to win, but that's the question. I think he's going to win.
People in the Rust Belt are holding on to this identity politics crisis created by the Republicans. And that may be enough to say, yeah, I like what Biden says about addiction, but also them queers are going to take my kids.
Yeah. Or niggers are going to, or N-words are going to kill my wife and children while they're at school.
Are you saying in reality Mel Gibson lives in the Rust Belt?
No, I'm saying that they're worried about some black dude that doesn't exist while not paying attention to Dylan, who has feelings for Kelsey, and Kelsey isn't interested in being 19 and pregnant by Dylan, and he's feeling some kind of way and has access to weapons. And access to weapons, internet, and a group of incels cheering him on. I said what I said. And I give no fucks.
And with that, I think we should end the show.
Yeah.
And I thank Doc for watching at the end here. I see Doc is watching now. Thank you very much for watching and your comment. And so we are going to end after the last little thing. And it looks like Henry Kissinger's somehow still fucking alive.
Why?
I don't know.
Dude, you hit 100. You can go now. You hit 100, sir. You can go now.
Once he goes finally, then we'll start counting down for Dick Cheney. But after that,